It seems that my proof that Call of Duty World War II has gotten lazy video has ruffled a few feathers to say the very least. As I expected, COD fans were quick to defend the game, pointing out that Destiny has the same issue with multiple of the same character at the HQ in that game, asking why I don't make a AAA game if I know so much about games, and mentioning that it's just not a big deal in general. Today I've come back with 2 more points and a semi-point, which is subjective. Either you agree or you disagree, but I'll show you that at the end of the video. The first point I want to get to is the emotes, which are incredibly lazy. In the background now, I'm scrolling through the emote list, and I keep going back and looking at one that I've already been past, thinking, hang on, haven't I seen that one? And I'm just double checking that it definitely has been repeated. But what you'll find in this game is that the emotes are repeated an awful lot. The only difference being is that the text on the side of the screen when you perform the emote is different for these emotes, but the animation is exactly the same. Now if that doesn't scream laziness to you, I honestly don't know what will, because in most games like Overwatch, the emotes are really cool. They're all unique, individual. I mean, some of them are a little familiar, but they're never the same. These emotes are exactly the same. The only thing they've changed is the text that appears on the side of the screen. Again, I'd love to know your thoughts on this, and before we actually do go any further into the video, I do need to explain that I loved the Call of Duty series. I loved Call of Duty Black Ops 1, 2 and 3. I loved Modern Warfare 2. I even liked Modern Warfare 3, which a lot of people don't like. But the series has gotten lazy, and it's only right that we call it out. And people defending it, even though the evidence is staring directly in the face, is not good. It will not make the game better. The game will never get better if you keep ignoring it. I even had one person tell me that in my last video, those character models weren't the same. And they blatantly were. I mean, I'm all for defending what you believe in, but that doesn't mean you should be blind to what's in front of your eyes. The next issue, well, the next example of laziness that I have is the fact there are only 9 maps in Call of Duty World War II. That's 9 standard maps. There are 3 war maps, and war is my favourite game mode. If that means anything, I actually do enjoy playing war, but there's only 9 maps in this. I think Advanced Warfare launched with 13 plus 1 bonus. Infinite Warfare had 12. I think Black Ops 2 had 14. So having 9 standard maps is really low. If you're not a fan of war, you're stuck with those 9. So I'm a fan of war, so I have the 9 standard plus 3 war maps to play on. If you don't like war, you're stuck with 9 maps, which is incredibly low. The game has a 3-year development cycle. They can only come up with 9 maps in that time. You could argue that it could be quality over quantity, but that's not the case here. None of these maps are good in my opinion. None of them compared to Terminal, Hijacked, Nuketown even, is better than the maps on this game. The only map I can remember from this game is Gustav Cannon, and I remember it because I hate it so much, and I know to back out of the lobby. Now we've come to the part of the video which, as I said, is subjective. You can either agree or disagree. I'm going to play the gun sounds from Call of Duty World War II, and I'm going to play the gun sounds from Call of Duty World at War. Call of Duty World at War was the last World War II based game in the Call of Duty series before World War II. Now I want you to tell me which guns you think sound better. And to try and trick you a little bit, I'm going to play it over a black screen, so you won't be able to see any gameplay. You'll just hear the guns firing. I'll put the type of gun on the screen somewhere so you know what gun it is. And I'm going to label the games Game A and Game B. And I want you to tell me which guns you think sound better in the comments down below, either Game A or Game B. So have a listen and let me know what you think. If you thought that Game B sounded better, that's Call of Duty World at War, a game that was released 8 years ago. In my opinion, the guns in World War II sound like pea shooters. World War II is a very brutal war, and a lot of the weapons in those days, they weren't about finesse or anything like that. It was about sheer brutality and firepower. So the guns had to sound loud, they had a big bass to them, they sounded like they would hurt. Whereas the guns in World War II sound like the guns in Advanced Warfare. But again, it's subjective. I'd love to know what you think about that. That's just something that I picked up when recording footage for the game. I just don't like the way the guns sound. I could go on. I could name many more points about what makes Call of Duty World War II lazy. But I honestly think it would fall on deaf ears. I could show you irrefutable proof that Activision have been milking this series dry and haven't made an effort with it in years. The people who play the game and the people who love the game would still defend it. And I don't blame them. There's certain things that I love. I support Manchester United, the football club from England, and I defend them to the hill even if we're playing badly, which is more often than not nowadays. I'll still defend them, so I know exactly where these people are coming from. But deep down I know when we're playing badly, and hopefully these Call of Duty fans deep down know that the game isn't what it used to be. If you enjoyed this video, a like is really appreciated. It's going to get disliked to hell by COD fanboys and people who disagree. And that's fine, you're entitled to your opinion. I'm not here to say I'm right, you're wrong. I'm here to hear your point of view. What I don't want to hear is, why don't you try and make a game if you know so much? I'm not saying I could do a better job than these people who make these games. They're far more talented than I'll ever be. But that doesn't excuse the fact that I feel that this game is lazy. I've also had people telling me that it's a minor issue, the HQ one that I raised in my last video. It is minor, and it did seem like I was nitpicking. I can see where you've come from. That's why I came back today with 2 more examples and the gun sound examples, just to see what you think about that. As I said, enjoy the video, and I'll speak to you soon.